Hello, Flosstube. This is Angie Mier, Bubmie, Bubmie on Instagram. Welcome to my channel. I hope you purposely found me. Want to hear all about my cross stitch? If you found me by accident, we're going to talk cross stitch, and if you don't want to talk cross stitch, well then you can see you later. I hope everybody's well. Today is Friday, May 15th. It is we had thunderstorms last night, and today, it's been on and off. It's been on and off overcast. Sometimes the sun comes out, but it's a nice day. We got the windows open a little bit, so that is a plus. That is a plus. I had to go to school today and finish cleaning out my office. It's all cleaned out. We have one more week, and then a little bit because we had snow days, so the teachers are going after Memorial Day. But I hope, how was your Mother's Day? I hope that your Mother's Day was wonderful. I hope it was spudtacular like mine was. This is what my son Thomas and his fiancee Charlene sent me. I'll link the company below. I got this in the mail. The company, I think they're in California. You get this and they donate a potato to a food bank, and you get to put a picture on it. So it's spudtacular. Over the weekend, we worked on our garden. Here are the new raised bed gardens that are in my backyard. So there they were, all made. My husband did use cedar. This is where the old garden was, on the side of the house, right next to the house. So we added some new dirt there, and we're gonna plant some bushes and some grass. So we had 4 tons of, which way better? Okay, 4 tons of dirt and 2 cubic yards of mulch. And we used my son John's little pickup truck. And here was the end result. Now it's almost all planted. I'm waiting on some cucumbers to plant. They're coming. Tomatoes, green beans, green peppers, jalapeno peppers, radishes, green onions, basil, cilantro. That's everything. That's everything. So that was fun. We were hurting on by the end of the day. We had our septic bed. We had to get a new one a couple years ago, and when they dug down, then things kind of settled over the years. So we had some pretty good. So we added some dirt there. And then we added dirt to right at the front of the house where my garden bed is, right off my porch. Not my garden bed, my flower bed, right off my front porch. And there's one more, maybe. And then there around the walkway is some flowers. So we added some dirt there. So it was a lot of work. But we had perfect weather. And yes, I'm very sore. I'm still kind of sore sometimes. But it's all good. It's all good. Dave and I forget that we're in our 50s and maybe we shouldn't do that all in one day. But it was good. What have you been stitching on, or what have you been buying? Apparently I've been buying and buying and buying. So let's see what my haul is. I got one of these Lucy Heaton Needleminders. This is the one I got. Very excited about that. And it didn't take that long to get to me either. And that's coming from across the sea. And then last week I told you guys that I am in the Thread of the Month Club with Threads Entwined, and I got my threads, but I forgot to make sure they're upstairs. So here they are. Look at these lovely pinks, and there's going to be more coming because there's no weeks in it. So we'll get those later, but here are the pretty pinks. Aren't those pretty? I guess they look nice against my black shirt. So let's see, what do we get? Weeks Dye Works was Cherub and Bubblegum. Isn't this just like, doesn't this scream Bubblicious bubblegum to you? I used to chew that when I was a kid. Pink Peony, which my peonies are big and tall and beautiful. And on the side of the house where I showed you where the garden was last year, I bought a new peony bush. It's called Shirley Temple. So I'm excited about that. It's a white one. Rosy Glow. And then C. Shelley. So I went into school today, and so I'm wearing my school shirt. This year was our 25th year as a high school. We didn't end the way we wanted to. Okay, so what else did I get? I needed some Ada for a new project. And then I'm doing, I don't know if I showed you guys this. I think I did. I'm sure I did. Not 100% prepared here, so I'm pulling things down. I got I know it's all over here, the heartstring samplery token for my friend, and then the complementing piece, which should be in this pile here, right here, Plum Street Samplers, Sewn in Friendship. These two go together, so if you sew both of them, they go together nicely, like that. Doing that with some friends, and so I needed the threads, and I ordered way too many. I don't know why I ordered so many. What was I thinking? I have no idea what I was thinking. So those threads all came in with all of that. I'm not going to go through all those. That's way too many. And then Michelle Bendy was talking about. She was talking about Cobweb Corner. I'd never heard of that site. Cobweb Corner Cross Stitch, and she was showing this pattern. In fact, she gave some of these away, and oh, I just fell in love with him. Isn't he gorgeous? I know that's a lot of coverage, but I just think he's gorgeous, and so I bought him. And while I was looking around at their site, because when a pattern can't travel alone, that's our unwritten rule, right? I got this Prairie Schooler, and then I got a Prairie Schooler pack. Came in a thing. It came in a pack like this with all these, so I'll show you what I got. This is Boo Moon and Trick or Treat and Three Little Pigs, Reindeer Roundup, Fables and Tales, Heads Up, All Hallows Eve, Little Red Riding Hood, Oh Christmas Tree, look at that squirrel for all you squirrel lovers, and Vintage Eggs. So I was excited about that. And then I told you last week about the newer floss tube, The Lord and the Lady of Stitchshire, although I couldn't remember that in my video to save the life to tell you the actual name. And the Lady of Stitchshire and her friend, sorry, I want to say it's Heather, but it's not Heather. Sorry, I'll link it below. They have an Etsy site, Crafters Emporium, and I went shopping. So she sells craft bags. So this is the craft bag that I got. Stitching bags. It's got a little sewing, a little scissor pull. And then it comes with a matching little one to put your threads in. And then it comes with a thread keep and a needle minder. That was a good price for all that. It was a good price. So, and this came really quick. But a project bag cannot travel alone. It needs friends to come with it. And so, and I haven't taken these, let me take these out of the bag. I got Stitching with the Housewives. This is Sam and Liberty. I'm sure you've all seen this. And Feeling Patriotic. Somebody's doing all patriotic, Kindred Stitchers doing all patriotic for Mania. And then Stitching with the Housewives, Long May She Wave. I didn't need all that stuff, but I was happy to buy all that stuff. So, and while oh, where was I? It's at one of the grocery stores. I don't know where, and I was standing in line. I found this magazine. It's Better Homes and Gardens, Handwork Happiness. Relax with wool applique, English paper piecing, hand quilting, embroidery, and cross stitch. And this is, Heidi Cran talks about paper piecing in her Hexies. So I really enjoyed this magazine. There was a lot of really cool things in here. There was great explanations. There was great, like, here's this one on needle pulling thread, hand piecing and quilting. Like, each page, each new one, they talk about, they lay out all your supplies.
Hello, Flosstube!
He's been wanting to do that. That's my husband, Dave. He's been wanting to do that for a long time. He's really sad when I come down. He goes, what are you doing up there? And I said, I just recorded a Flosstube. Because like, oh, I missed it. So they tell you like all the supplies that they need and lay them out and explain them. There's good directions in here. This is what they had for cross stitch patterns. Thought those were really cute. Just something simple. I think all of these in here were simple, and I think as novice as a stitcher as I am, I probably could make a good many of these things that were in here. Here was the Hexie page, the layout. So if you see this, if you happen to see this at your, when you're at the store, this was, what's this? It says display until May 1st. So maybe there'll be a new one coming out. What else? Oh, and I got to show you something funny. So I'm working on, and I haven't touched it in forever, in a few days. Told you guys I was working on Paula Vaughn's the July quilt. And I had it downstairs and I was kind of struggling with it because it has so many threads. And I'll show you where I'm at. I haven't gotten any farther than this. I told you the last time I was working on the green over here of the swing. I haven't gotten any farther. I was struggling with the threads. There's a lot of threads in here. In fact, there's more threads in this thing than there is in Let Freedom Ring. There really is. I haven't counted. But they were just like, they were in my, this is my bag I got from Vana. I won this at a retreat. I love this bag. It's nice and big and everything goes in it. But I was having trouble every time I went to pull out a thread. It was all in here and I didn't have a good system. And so I found my, I'll show you in a second here. I found I don't have another one out, a book I got from, I want to say her name's Paulette. I'll link it below. She sells these books that have, they're hardbound little binders and they have floss away bags in them. So I thought, oh, that'll be perfect. I'll put it in here. So I start putting them in there, putting them in there, putting them in there. And these are all the threads that are needed for my Paula Vaughn. I can't close it. This isn't going to work. I think what I'm going to have to do, I think I'm going to have to take like a smaller bag that's see-through, and I'm going to have to put them in there or something. I don't know what I'm going to do because that's way too many. And I thought, and I didn't have one of these rings to put them on. I'd need a huge ring to put them on. Maybe if they weren't bobbinated, maybe if I had thread drops, maybe it would be better. But I just thought it was funny that I really thought I was being fun, good, and I would be organized because they start here at these are like some of the 300s, 300 numbers, and there's more 300 numbers. And there's more 300 numbers. There's like 5 to each bag. There's 4 to 5 in each bag, so that was kind of comical. I'm gonna figure out a system. And then I showed you my Woodstock fail. It was like a Pinterest fail. Here's my Woodstock fail from one of the books I did. Those French knots make him look like a pickaninny. It was bad. So then I went to this book, Melyellystitches. Happy belated birthday, Melly. It was like 11 o'clock your time when I sent a message on Instagram. Sorry. Happy birthday, Melly. There's lots of May birthdays. So Melanie is working, I think, on this one. And I was like, that's a nice big Woodstock on there. I could do that one. And he turned out so much better. Doesn't he look better than that one? So comical. So I'm excited that I got him done. But I feel like I duped people. If you follow me on Instagram, I totally apologize. I went back and corrected my post because I showed this picture, and I just showed this picture because I wanted to show that this is what I got him, but I did two. That's how close up I did. So people thought I did that one, and I apologize. Like, my needle would be on fire if I whipped that puppy out that fast. So I just did that one. I did a little bit more on, like I'm like 2 more rows, and then that top's done. I got to put her name in. I got to finish still with the snowflakes, and I still have to finish right here just a little bit, and then I'll be good to go. I got to get cracking. And then for some reason I pulled this out. This is Lizzie Kate Autumn. I know that, like many of you, a lot of you are doing Mania. I'm doing Sania. I'm just doing whatever. I don't have a list. I don't have, I have lots of things in project bags. I'm not giving a different piece attention a day. My goal is just to stitch. My goal is 100 stitches a day on Let Freedom Ring, and I've been good about that. On Saturday, I couldn't, at the end of the day, after moving all that dirt, I couldn't lift a needle if I tried. I hurt so bad. But on Sunday, I caught up with my 200 stitches, so I did 200 that day. So I've been doing 100 stitches a day on that thing, and I can't wait to show it to you. So here's where I am on here. I've been working on I got to fill in that right there. It's got to go all the way down. I got to fill all that in. So I'm working on that. I've been, I had to tell myself I had to work on Let Freedom Ring because otherwise my attention has been all over the place, and my focus is very, very bad. No focus. So Let Freedom Ring. So for any of you who haven't seen Let Freedom Ring, this is Let Freedom Ring by Lila's Studio. I started this a long time ago. I didn't look up the date, sorry. A long time ago. So here's when I picked this back up. Some of this dark color down here that extends all the way over, I worked on making it go all the way over. I've extended the gold down on each side that was probably like up here. I have been working on this edition. I had this gray. I had this across the top, and I've been working on and we're working on this. So it's been going along pretty well. I hate to post it to Instagram every single day because I'm like, how boring, it's just bricks and mortar. So I think it's more exciting to wait a couple days so there's a couple hundred stitches in there. But it's coming along. I got my 100 in even though I had to frog some out. So I'm happy with it. Better than it just sitting in timeout looking at me every day, right? Guess what, friends? That's it. I did not do any additional bobbinating. I still have this bag and a little bit more to bobbinate. I did give some threads away. I have a young man at school who he would do what he called embroidery when he was stressed, and he was just putting needle to thread. He wasn't doing anything specific or following a pattern. It was just the rhythmic needle in and out, needle in and out. And so I offered him a cross stitch kit, and he took me up on it. And then we did a Google Hangout, and I explained to him how to make the X's and follow the pattern, and he was struggling a little bit, and he was struggling to thread it on his own. So I took him this week a needle threader, and I took him some more Aida, and I told him on the practice, what I gave him, I'm like, just practice making rows of X's. And so he's done that, and he's like, I'm ready for some more. So I gave him some more Aida, and I took him a needle threader and drew him a diagram of how to use it, and I gave him some floss. And so he was happy as a clam. He was very excited. So I can't wait to see what he comes up with. I really can't. That's very exciting. This is a quick video. I do want to say thank you to Melanie from Melyellystitches for shouting me out. And I want to say thank you to the Lord and Lady of Stitchshire for also shouting me out and thanking me for shouting them out. So they returned the favor. So welcome to all my new subscribers. If you, thank you for subscribing. As you're watching, I hope you hit that like button and maybe leave me a comment. I want to know, I know it's getting better. The weather is getting better. I hope for everybody it's getting better. Somebody posted somewhere a question, I saw it on social media, about do you take your stitching when you go camping? I haven't tent camped in a long time. And if I was going tent camping, I probably wouldn't take my stitching with me. Maybe it would stay in the car if we had to drive somewhere, because I don't want it around the campfire. And I love to sit by the campfire. When we go to my dad's to Virginia, I take my stitching with me, because we don't have a campfire at the cabin. We go down to a different location to have a fire. So where do you like to stitch? I'm looking forward to the wind slowing down a little bit, and I will go sit outside either on my front porch or my back deck, and I will stitch. Let Freedom Ring will not go outside. It's too big. It sits on a roller frame. But anything else I'll take outside and work on, and I'm looking forward to that. But the wind has been a beast lately. Before I forget, shout out to my mother-in-law, Mary Ruth. Hiya, Mama. Can't wait to see you in person. And a shout out to my dad. He told me he watched the other night, so shout out to my dad and his wife, Jan. That's it, friends. Short and sweet and to the point. I hope you're all well. I hope you're all getting to watch lots of FlossTube. I hope things are good for you. And if you need somebody to talk to, please reach out and talk to somebody. Take care, and we will talk to you soon. Happy stitching.